Hello, my fellow comic book collectors. This video, I'm going to start a new series of videos, and this is going to be the first in that series. I'm really looking at early Golden Age characters, the ones that didn't really make it from the Golden Age into the modern era. Some of them did, but not really in the popular level to like Superman or like Wonder Woman or any of the ones that we kind of know from the Golden Age. These ones are kind of under the radar, and a lot of them are good girl related ones. So I like collecting a lot of good girl art. I like a lot of the Jungle Girl art. I like, that kind of 40s, 50s kind of jungle girl, pretty, sexy girls from the 40s. So yeah, so it's one of those things where I really like the Golden Age, and I kind of want to share that love for the Golden Age with you. And with that all said, it's kind of a long spiel, but what I want to show you is a character that I think is totally underappreciated, probably one that should get a lot more love. And I want to show you her. Uh, and it's this character right here. This is her first appearance. This is Zoot number 7. And it's the first appearance of a character known as Rulah. And Rulah, her name was originally Jane Dodge. And basically, she was like an American who was bored of, living a sort of like, life in America, privileged life. And she decided to fly, just go for a fly, fly around the world kind of thing. And she flew to over Africa. And she was just flying around and she hit some trouble. Her plane crashes. So she parachutes down and her plane crashes. Now, in that situation, what happens is the plane crashing looks like, for these jungle kind of people, it looks like some god has come down, crashed on the earth. And there's this sort of wicked woman who kind of goes over and uses the parachute to pretend that she's a god. This is not Rulah. This is and this is not Jane. But this is a secondary woman who basically goes to the tribe and says, "Hey, I'm a god now," and the tribe accepts this random woman as a god, and she basically says, "Okay, well now I can steal all their stuff," and she knows that there's this sort of cave that this tribe has where they store all their relics and all their valuables, but it's guarded by snakes. So all as this is all happening, not Rulah, but Jane, she's basically like, sees that this tribe is being influenced by this witch. I guess I don't know if she's a witch or whatever she is, but she's just by this evil woman, and so she wants to help the tribe, but they don't believe her. At first. And what happens is this evil woman basically goes into the cave with some of these tribe members, and they get bitten by the snakes and die. It's brutal. And then she goes in and steals the treasure. So and Rulah is like, "Hey, look, she's not a god. She's not. She's just, it's just my parachute." And like she tries to explain it to them, but at first the tribe people don't believe, and it's only after she kind of does a few things that she's able to convince the tribe that this is an imposter. This is not a god. This is a fake woman. Now, at that point, the tribe, says, "Okay, you got to prove yourself to us, this Joan, or Jane, I should say." So they get her to fight a panther. So she has to fight a panther. And, that's what's on the cover. She's given a dagger and she has to fight a panther. It's like crazy. And she beats the panther, kind of lunges at her and she like stabs it. And, she beats it. And then they rename her Rulah, the jungle goddess. And they sort of become her tribe after that. And so her story is the reason she has this like this costume is when she fell out of the sky, her clothes got totally destroyed, and it's sort of a typical, typical kind of story for men, kind of maybe. Girl gets her clothes ruined. So she finds this hide of a giraffe, and she makes her own clothes using like a bit of the parachute and the giraffe hide to make her costume. That's the origin of her costume. So it's a really great story, and that was the first Rulah story, and that's how she got her name. That's how she, became who she was. So she's not like some typical jungle girl, like, that came out of the jungle and just all of a sudden. She's like an American who kind of, develops this kind of persona as being a jungle goddess. So the inspiration for this book actually is really interesting. It was actually created by Matt Baker. And if you're familiar with Matt Baker, he is a black artist, really great artist, brilliant artist. This first cover was done by Jack Kamen, who actually helped develop the character with Matt Baker. Now, Matt Baker didn't really get the credit for developing her and creating her. Like, he really did create her. And because he didn't get to do the art. But, he was, intrinsic to helping her get created. Matt Baker is also very famous for his work on Phantom Lady. Just brilliant artist. Can't say enough about him. He's a great artist. And I'm going to show you some of the more other things that are related to Rulah. So one of the things that you have to understand about Rulah is that she was produced by Fox. Now, Fox is kind of like one of these comic companies who loves to rip off other comic companies. If you saw my video about Al Feldstein, I talk about how, basically Al Feldstein was given this job to basically rip off Archie. And they made like Junior and Sonny, which were basically rip-offs of Archie's comics. And Rulah was really, Vincent Fox is the guy that owns Fox Syndicate Publishing. He basically wanted to rip off the Jungle comics. There was like a whole bunch of these. There was Jumbo comics with Sheena, and there was, Jungle comics with Kang, and all these other really popular comics from the 40s, early 40s. And so he wanted to rip that off. So Zoot was the one that he created, and Zoot number 7 from 1947 was kind of a later one of these Jungle comics. Now, Rulah had her own series, and it ended with this one. This is Rulah number 27. It only lasted 27 issues. But it was a very cool one. I believe this is Matt Baker art. I'm not sure, but this might be his artwork there. And it's either Matt Baker or Kamen. And then her, like, Rulah is kind of like a controversial character because, she is skimpily dressed, and she, she's kind of like that eye candy. And one of the things that kind of makes her historically important is the fact that she's mentioned multiple times in The Seduction of the Innocent. And she's mentioned her 2 comics that were mentioned was Rulah 21. This is her first introduction into the Seduction of the Innocent. And then Rulah, here, I'll take it out of the bag. Rulah number 22. And this is just a really awesome cover. This is why I like Rulah so much. It's just, it can't go wrong. I mean, she's fighting a crocodile. Like, come on, that's awesome. So yeah, it's like just really great. These, she's doing it in a bikini. You try fighting a crocodile in a bikini and see how you do. So just a really awesome cover. That's why I really like these comics. They're just really fun, crazy comics. And that's Rulah. That's the story of Rulah. She also appeared in some of the other titles from Fox. She appeared in Dagar, the Jungle Hawk, the Desert Hawk, I should say. And she appeared in what else? There was a couple others that she appeared in. Just trying to remember them. All top comics as well. So really great character. One of those ones that's under the radar for most people, and it's one that you should probably check out. I'm trying to encourage more people to go golden and check out these golden age comics and really build appreciation for comic history. So I hope I've done all that in this video. I hope that you check out my other videos. I do a lot of unboxings, but I'm trying to balance it out where it's not always unboxings. And I'm trying to give you some, some historical kind of fun content as well. So please like, comment, and subscribe. And thanks for watching.